we are serious. Let them go clear their name. Don't talk about fighting gender-based violence when the elephant in the room is looking at you. Thank you, Naim Tasso.
Member for Meday.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. I'd like to take this opportunity to contribute to today's debate on an important issue of gender-based violence. I would also like to acknowledge the personal testimony by our good Minister for Provincial and Government Affairs. He made an important point on this issue. We have been giving speeches talking about people outside being perpetrators, but there are many perpetrators in this House and have been in this House and will be in this House for years to come. That issue we seem to be forgetting. And he is the first Member of Parliament on record to actually share his own experience when he was a young man and the regret he had in a domestic altercation with his own late wife. I would also like to acknowledge the testimony shared by the Governor for Jiwaka on the same issues that concerned his own family member, grandson being a perpetrator. I'd also like to acknowledge the comments made by the member for Wabag and his efforts in dealing with gender-based violence. This issue is a very complex issue. There is no solution, there is no one law will solve this issue. Actually, we have sufficient law to deal with gender-based violence and many crimes in our country. New laws is not the issue. While new laws can improve addressing this issue, right now there is sufficient laws to take appropriate action. The problem is, we don't have enforcement. That's the problem. We don't have sufficient officers that are being supported to address this issue. And having previously had the opportunity to serve as a reserve member of the PNG Constabulary in 1990s with then the current Deputy Prime Minister and I think the member for Fisheries, Minister for Fisheries, I had the opportunity firsthand to see how complex this issue, gender-based violence, where you sign on duty, go before the police station, and then you have members of the public coming to file their complaint. Many women, victims of their gender-based violence, where the perpetrators are their own husband. And I've seen firsthand where officers say, something lo marit, you go straight in past them. When you've been trained to say, even though something not married, there's a crime. You register the crime and you follow the process of the law. Regardless you married or you tambu or you wear. The law applies to everybody. So there were many times that I was questioning even my fellow officers, why did you not arrest him? And some of them shared their experience, which is something that can't be ignored. They said, me plus arrest him, time lo come to court, maybe belong him less, log him evidence. People hard work, sit down, write him over the statement, prepare a file, go to court, no got witness, less lo kalabus man belong him because him talk man belong him go to kalabus, then usad by look out to me. Yet walk, people not a fortnight. So they withdraw the charges. And this is an issue many members in blue or our officers face. And it's a problem. There's no simple solution, you carry law come, you administrate him. These are issues that many ordinary Papua New Guineans do not understand. The other complex issue of gender-based violence that it involves the very people that we love and care and share and trust. You know, Manlo Street come na Bruki House na Paitim you or Bagaram you na you can kalbusibim. The very people that raised us, the very people that care for us, the very people that you got married to, had kids with, Molisa line. It involves them, family. You know, I'm a simple issue. There is not clear, some criminal broke in your house, na mila kalabusmen, or Paitim you na mila kalabusmen, or raping you na mila kalabusmen. This is a complex problem that needs complex solutions. But the fact remains, it is getting worse. I recall in the last parliament, I gave a similar speech. We're back here giving the same speech. The only difference is, it's gotten worse. That's the difference. And it'll continue to get worse. If we can't even hold ourselves accountable in this parliament on this issue, then how do we expect to hold other people accountable? So yes, this issue concerns even our own members of parliament. Some have taken the correct and appropriate decision to even stand down on this issue and defend themselves in the court of law. As the law states, we are innocent until proven guilty. And we have others where our Prime Minister has to stand them down. But later, after a few weeks and months, somehow they go back to the same position again. So why are we telling the people when we come here and say we have to show leadership when we are not showing leadership? Leadership starts here. No one man innocent losin. None of us are innocent losin. The question is, what do you do after you commit the sin? You talk me wrong, me mari, me go to court, me accept me wrong. Or you duck and weave. We talk about passing Christian bill. I mean, really? I mean, it sounds good. But where's the practice of our Christian values and principles? Easy to pass a law. So we're going to be back next year. We want to talk about the same issue because we don't have a plan. We're not holding ourselves accountable to start with. We're not holding our colleagues accountable to start with. We're not holding our constituents or family members accountable to start with. So we're just here to give lip service, speeches that mean nothing. We have a deteriorating police department that didn't just turn up yesterday. So I understand the minister faces challenges. Even when I went in there a short time to see firsthand, it was very difficult to find good officers. And even if you did, they said, well, we never had good sergeants. We never had good commissioners. This is how we inherited the force. So what do you expect us to do? So hope from today's discussion and debate and testimony shared by our fellow members and ministers that we don't come back next year and present another report and give another prepared speech, that we actually have a proper debate and a plan. The government is in charge. Opposition, we're not in charge. We can't come and say, here's the plan, you're in charge, so you are responsible. And our job is to hold you responsible. When you do the right things, we acknowledge you. When you do the wrong things, we hold you accountable. So can we bring a plan on how to address the issue of gender-based violence? The laws are there. There's sufficient law even right now. The question now is, what greater, more resources are we going to give those involved in the area of gender-based violence? What offices are we going to build? What vehicles are we going to supply? What manpower? Training on mediation. Because the ongoing issue of gender-based violence is that it involves people we care about. And sometimes they are not in a position to hold themselves accountable. And then they're going to need mediation. Gender-based violence is a crime that has been repeated over years and years and years. You know, it started with abuse, it started with ill feeling, then verbal abuse, then threats of verbal abuse, and then violence, and then sexual violence. That took years for them to get to that stage in their life. These are built-up habits that have been repeated, conditioned, and entrenched. So even you lock someone up tomorrow, he comes out, and we'll go back to the same passing bloom. So we only change passing, ta you mi pilim pen, or you mi sem, or you mi amamas. Lolusi wampla passing, na golonarpla passing. These are issues that deal with psychological behavior, human behavior, and it's going to take professionals in this space, and it takes the initiative for us in this parliament to start talking about what needs to happen. What is the plan? Where are the experts? Do they have a plan? We had experts to come up with a cure for COVID. We paid them 10 million. I didn't see any cure. Can we get 10 million to get some experts in to address the issue of gender-based violence? I mean, there's far more greater victims in that space. So thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker, and the opportunity to speak on this important issue. And I hope my fellow colleagues and the government and the Prime Minister take note. If you are serious and you're saying to the media, take leadership, well, you have one leadership to take. We have a case. A person's innocent until proven guilty. Well, let's demonstrate that we are serious. Let them go clear their name. Don't talk about fighting gender-based violence when the elephant in the room is looking at you. Thank you, and I am Tasfo.